Amazing. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Always Be Testing podcast. I'm your host, Tye DeGrange, and really excited to talk to Ziggy Kopetti today. Ziggy, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Absolutely. I feel like it's been it's been a long time coming. We've talked about doing this for a while,
Yep.
and it's really good to finally make it happen.
Yes, I agree. It has been quite some time. So we've known each other for a while now. So I'm happy to finally make it happen.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good one. I think you have so much knowledge to share, and people need to hear more from Ziggy. So, for those of you who don't know, Ziggy is an industry veteran, absolutely very knowledgeable in consumer partner marketing, affiliate marketing. Currently leading the Woot affiliate program. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep.
The Great Deal platform is part of Amazon.
Hmm.
Previously at Commission Junction, like myself, and also Columbia Sportswear.
Hmm.
What Let's jump into the fun world of debunking the myths of affiliate. What do people get wrong about affiliate marketing?
Oh gosh, I think they get wrong more than they get right. Um, I think that in general, and I've worked on the brand side quite a bit, but I think in general, it's last click, last click only sort of attribution. Affiliates like, traffic steals traffic. It's not incremental. And, oftentimes loyalty publishers, they don't drive new customers. They're not super valuable. They're not incremental. So that's kind of some of the challenges that it's expensive. And I think that is probably a lot of the misconceptions about the channel.
Yeah, I really agree and love that. I think coming from the brand perspective, you and I've had a lot of brand experiences, and your brand experiences is great. And to say that, those things are, uh, the opposite is true in many cases if they're managed correctly, is definitely aligns with our observations.
Yeah.
Um, with the affiliate work at Columbia and REI and Buy, like what was was there a affiliate story in those that you want to maybe pluck out and share that you found to be interesting or helpful in terms of learnings?
Yeah. So let's see, I guess thinking about, going way back,
Hmm.
my early
Let's do
CJ
it.
days.
Wayback
I'm just
Machine.
thinking about, I was trying to go through all the different, what sticks out in my mind is usually when I've worked on the brand side, because you're so much more ingrained in the day to day and,
Hmm.
the happenings of the organization
Hmm.
and all sort of all the details. But, I was trying to dig in and to think about some of the, you know, programs I've managed from, the CJ side or agency side. And buy.com was one. If you've been in the industry a while, you probably remember who they are.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think that, that was a fun program to launch. I remember, gosh, this had to be back in like 2005. I think that's about right. Um,
That's
and
impressive. Let's take a moment to just appreciate how
oh,
far back that is. That's 20 solid years
it's really dating myself
in
there.
this depths of affiliate. I didn't quite
Where I've
start
done things
affiliate
outside of
proper
affiliate.
until a couple of years out, 2 years after you, but that's amazing.
Yeah. I took a journey outside of affiliate for a while to get some additional experience. But yeah, this was sort of my first foray into it. But yeah, I remember the buy.com team, Melissa Salas,
Oh yeah.
was running that. Also a veteran in the space, obviously. And we came up and met with their team, and it was like a big all hands on deck. We were launching the program. We had a dedicated team. I think it was one of CJ's first dedicated teams ever to sort of an advertiser program. And I just remember it being a big thing. And I think the team itself was really, really innovative. And so we were constantly, testing new things. And I thought the team itself, like when we were working with Melissa and such, they were just constantly throwing out ideas. I think they were one of the first folks to do some like video work. And anyway, so that sticks out in my brain sort of as a big I guess, positive memory, in my background. And then probably, bigger and more, current is my work at Columbia Sportswear. So, I was working across the Columbia Sportswear brands. So that was like Columbia, Mountain Hardwear, Sorel,
Love
and
the Sorel brand. Love the Columbia brand. It's great.
yes, they're great. And then working with the team at Prana, too. They have their own dedicated team, but we worked with them. For Columbia specifically, they had, a whole team of buyers and merchandisers and whatnot. And we started just testing, slowly with like, let's take some of this excess inventory that we have access to. We started with socks and let's set aside the inventory for the affiliate channel. Let's run, its own landing page. Let's do an exclusive offer where it's just for the affiliate channel. Let's see what kind of product we can move. It started really slowly because, as you can imagine, socks isn't going to necessarily be a huge seller, but we just specifically for the channel. And that program just grew enough to where, our merchandisers were, buying inventory specifically for the affiliate channel, which is pretty phenomenal. And the reason it was getting sort of larger attention within the organization, and we even were able to show it to the CEO of Columbia, was because it was driving so much more. It was such a profitable channel. So our margins were so much richer via affiliate than if we were taking that inventory and liquidating it through like the wholesale channel within sales. Yeah.
I've seen that great tactic used, and affiliate can be a great one for that in retail.
Yeah. Yep. It's rich. It was great. So that's probably cool. A big highlight for me.
I love it. When I was at CJ a couple of years after that year, I think it was around 2007 when I was starting out there. Remember buy.com had such a great presence, and you could tell there was a lot of excitement around how they were building the brand, integrating affiliate and investing in it. Was there something in particular around innovation that jumped out at you that you thought like worked really well, was really interesting and fun to work on?
Oh, I don't know if I have anything specific from that. I can't think about.
I feel like it was that they were. From my perspective, it was like they were not afraid to make a big splash and be creative and invest in the channel, from what I could tell. And I know that sounds simple, but I think there was a belief and going a little bit all in versus some of the other brands out there at the time.
Perhaps that's exactly
that was my view.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They were just, there was no hesitation. There wasn't a lot of fear. They were willing to test anything and everything and kind of see what sticks. And they were willing to, throw some money at things just to, even if it didn't work. So I think, when you're working with a lot of different brands, you oftentimes have a lot of sort of, challenges to overcome at the higher level, and the support was there. So I think that's huge when you're working with a brand.
Love it. Obviously, the publishers, I talk a lot about how the partners, the publishers, there's so many names, the influencers, the creators, they're all kind of similar bucket at a high level, but talk about them being the currency of the ecosystem or the R&D of the ecosystem. They're such an important piece. How have you seen that evolve and like kind of change over time? Because it certainly has done a lot of that.
Yeah. Are you talking about the relationship side of things? Or you're talking about
more on the publisher side, like the publishers that are most interesting to you and the ones that you see as the most critical now? It's obviously changed, but where do you kind of see a lot of that value and coming from partners?
I think what we've seen a shift. I think probably I would say from around 2016 and forward is looking at the importance of sort of content players in the space. So like the influencers, using things like short form video. Now we're seeing a big outcropping of sort of the CTV folks, and also obviously content commerce. So the wire cutters and, the CNNs and those guys are huge. And I think it's about, I think it's shifted from affiliate really being focused on deal, and sort of those coupon sites and things like that, and loyalty to broader. So, people are saying that, affiliate can drive traffic all the way through sort of that, consumer shopping funnel. And, and customers can go on and engage at every level of that.
Yeah.
So it's
Not
just
just at the end, it's
not
much
just the
more.
last click. Yeah. I mean, and the brand side conversion is always going to be the most important thing at the end of the day for most brands. That's what they're focused on.
Mm-hmm.
But it converts as well. So you can work with partners, in the content space, and they're not only driving awareness, but they're converting for you. And that's going to be unique to every brand, obviously, what kind of content you want to focus on, or what works the best for you, but based on your goals. But that's really what I've seen.
The Woot program, I think about, that just almost notorious, quirky sign up landing page, which, as affiliate managers, I think the good ones really know how important they are, and they take a lot of care and pride in them. What's the story behind that? I just thought it made a lot of, you have something to share. So would love to hear the story or some your perspective on it, maybe at least.
Well, I'm thinking about you're right. Super quirky, funky. Like we've started back in 2004. And if people have been in the, online or just around long enough, they typically remember Woot as sort of the original daily deal site that was like, you get inventory from, some company, and it was really sort of consumer electronics and PC focused. And they would have a set amount of inventory. They put that one deal up a day, and when it was gone, it was gone. So it was just kind of a cool, innovative thing at the time that nobody else was really doing. So Amazon took notice and was like, Jeff Bezos was like, what is that? I want to know what that is, and I'm just going to own that. So then Amazon acquired us in like 2010, and then slowly has figured out what to do with us. But I think that
was like peak daily deal craze of 2010.
Yeah, sort of been this irreverent brand, and it has a very like loyal follower, which we call them looters. There's forums, and there's a lot of vocal folks on the forums. So the loyalty is there. I think people like the irreverence, but yeah, I guess I'm laughing because I think about the affiliate sign up page on our site. Is ridiculous, and I don't have a story behind that. That predates me, but it's not on brand anymore. We are sort of we've rebranded and sort of are in the process of like relaunching the whole site and all of that.
Current Woot customers, just close your ears. This is
inside
baseball talk.
You're gonna hate that, but that is an old page, and I don't know what the thinking was behind it, but our head of brand was like, we got to get rid of that.
I think for affiliate world people and for people in performance marketing, think about an affiliate, you're trying to recruit the best partners to promote a brand, in this case, Woot. And so that page is really, it's almost like an e-commerce landing page in a way, because you're kind of, as a business owner, affiliate promoter, you're looking, okay, why would I promote this brand? And so I think for them to be thoughtful about, being irreverent, being humorous, being quirky, knowing who their audience it sort of is an interesting filter. And I think it's a really great example of, being thoughtful and playful, and being bold, which is, we've talked about in this show a couple different ways and different guests. So just a tip of the cap. And I think I always associate with Woot, me personally, and I always had respect for. It almost reminds me of like, it's sort of tangential, but like the Zappos ethos back when they were the hottest thing going, of their willingness to step outside the mold, really be aggressive and assertive in their stance, and not be willing to zag a little bit when other
Yeah,
people are doing something else.
I love that. Yep, I agree. You want to support
Yeah.
those places that have their own
Yeah, for
personality.
sure.
Yeah,
When it draws in the people, the types of partners that you want to gather, which I think kind of lends itself to our, next theme around like, trust and authenticity. It's such a thing that's, I think that we love about affiliate. It can deliver that for brands when it's done appropriately.
right.
Um, how are you seeing trust being sort of built when, the partners and affiliates are promoting Woot, and maybe just in general, how do you view trust being like a part of what you do and what you're doing for Woot?
Yeah. Yeah, I think trust is huge. Customers want to shop with companies that they trust, that they know are, quality, that, as we talked about, stand for something. I think even more so the younger generation, wants their organizations to have a stance, whether that's, environmental impact or, even political sometimes. I think that, that's super, super important. And I think that helps build trust. Woot is interesting. I think it's been a long road for Woot, and like we talked about it a moment ago, I think that there are the Wooters out there, obviously, where they've been around a long time, they've followed and love Woot for who they are, and they're adamant about it. But then for a lot of the younger folks out there, they have no idea who Woot is and still don't. And I think so. Sort of that building awareness, building an identity, and then thus building that trust is sometimes a challenge for Woot. So it's something I'm always focused on, and that's kind of where you get into the brand building side of things. I think the legitimacy of Amazon, owning Woot as a subsidiary certainly helps. So I lean on that to help
Yeah,
sort of build that trust
absolutely. Yeah.
among affiliate partners and customers and new customers. That's a huge goal for me, is driving new customer acquisition. So that's something I have to focus on all the time. I think, where I have to really focus is, I think when you are your name, you have to continue to show up. And I think, having us, consistently sort of in content commerce sites, working with those guys where, you get some new eyeballs, you're looking, you're getting in sort of the listicles and the reviewed, getting links and sort of reviewed products, things like that builds trust. I think, continually getting in front of new customers with, sort of influencers and micro influencers. That has been a huge sort of success story for Woot. And I think if I, continue to, work with those types of partners, that is going to only continue to sort of grow and build our brand, and thus build trust among newer audiences. So
I love
that's
that.
great.
It's cool to hear that micro influencers and is something that sounds like, if I'm hearing you correctly, is worked and has been a mechanism of trust for Woot. Is that right?
Yeah. It's but probably in the 5 years I've been here, it's been probably the largest success story for us. It's huge. So
Love it.
I think you have to find your niche within the influencer world, and then lean in there.
That's awesome. Given you've seen so much in measurement of like what works, what hasn't. You talked a little bit about last click and incremental. How do you, but also like how would you, counsel brands on, the challenge of attribution, measurement, and incrementality, the, 3 words that some people irk from, but I think you and I appreciate and are willing to dig into.
Yep, that's a constant, conversation that I think you're having. That you always have, whether you're, living and working on the brand side, or whether you're, on the agency side, probably even more so. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a constant source of concern and a need for validation. and education. And I think that's where
Hmm.
you kind of have to lean in, is continue to educate, and to test. So, I mean, I think most brands are trying to use attribution to decide how to pay their partners. But I think what's important is to understand who's actually creating the most value for the brand. So, as we talked about earlier, affiliate sits across the entire customer journey, if you're working it correctly. And so I would always recommend brands to do three different sort of tactics to determine which of those affiliates are most valuable to them. And so first, I would segment your partners by role in the customer journey. So, the discovery, influence, and conversion. So, look at those partners that are, sort of creating discovery, building awareness for your brand, which are, influencing that sort of more in the middle, and then which are converting there at the end, instead of treating all the affiliates the same. So make sure you understand how you segment those and why. And then second, I would look at your data, look at your customer data. So not just the attribution data. So one thing we have to look at all the time on our side is new versus returning customers. So that is a huge. Woot specifically uses the affiliate channel to drive 50 to 60% of their new customer acquisition, and then we also look at those returning customers, and that is something that I'm consistently having to prove out. And for Woot, those affiliate partners that are driving the most new customers and the most returning are the most valuable to us. So you want to look at that. You want to look at sort of the time to purchase and the assist behavior. And then that's where incrementality will show up for you. And then third, just test it. So you can turn certain partners off and on. You can adjust commission structures. I'm doing that all the time. You can run some tests with some of the loyalty partners. I get a lot of pushback on loyalty. So that's, some place where I've messed around a little bit. You can do time-based holdouts and do testing that way. But I think that's a good way, to learn pretty quickly who your partners are that are really driving true incrementality for your
You're
program.
speaking the language of the pod in testing, and it's
Good.
absolutely appreciated. Like the holdouts and segmentation, and thinking about those things differently is something that comes up a ton, and it's just so appreciated to get your perspective. And I was typing furiously to share and remind the team it's something that we have seen work in different ways, in particular like the three segments of partner types. It doesn't always
Yeah.
make sense in certain situations, in certain programs, but I think in a lot of cases, in the case of like, we've seen it work well in consumer and consumer electronics, and you're
Mm-hmm.
obviously within that realm. And I think that I like that framing of it. It's a really good reminder to people. Yeah, the holdout piece is really a big one. I don't think people realize that you can actually run holdouts within affiliate.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one, but it's one we can delve into and share with people. So I love that you're going there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, there's a little, speaking of all the measurement stuff, it's we get into it a lot with, shout out to the PMA for some of the stuff we're doing in measurement there. The measurement council has been fun. So maybe we
Awesome.
can chat with you and them on that stuff. There's some really good folks on that. And
Yeah.
the stuff you're talking about is really similar to what we talk about on a regular basis on that measurements council. Um, but there may be more there. So maybe
Yeah.
we can get you talking with that team.
Sure.
Um, the other piece that's obviously becoming related and hyper real is the wave of the AI that's affecting us all.
Yeah.
There's Shopify and Stripe and ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
The news of that collaboration was big, throughout the end of last year. It's not. I haven't heard a ton about it now. Now Claude is the explosive trend that everyone's talking about, and
Yeah.
I feel like Gemini taking over market. It seemed to be growing in market share, and Google making a comeback. And like
I
earlier,
know.
a year ago, Google wasn't as nearly as well thought of in terms of their progress, and now that's quite changed in the last 6 months.
Yeah. It's
Um,
this constant little race, isn't it? Which is good.
yeah, I mean, everyone's like scared of. affiliate getting supplanted, replaced? What is your view of how the AI wave and the LLMs and agents and all that stuff change the affiliate game from your perspective? What do you think people should be thinking about?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I know it's on all of our brains in some capacity. I think that AI is going to probably fundamentally change how affiliate marketing is operated, but not, you know, but not why it works. So I think that, um, there's a lot of sort of manual work that goes into running a program and running it well. As of now, and affiliates are picking up offers manually, and things like that, and figuring out what's going to work on their site and with their audience, etc. But I think AI will be able to analyze audience behavior and purchase history and intent to purchase signals, and then hopefully, my guess is then dynamically match those right products to the right creators and audiences automatically. With all the nuance of how that might work, I have no idea, but I think that's where it's headed, and that's a pretty big shift from today's mostly manual sort of relationship-driven model. On the brand side, I think AI is going to make affiliate programs far more like measurable and scalable. I think, they'll know which partners drive incremental value, versus sort of the noise. So, we may have to do less of, some of this, holdout and testing and things like that we were just talking about. I think it'll optimize, commission structures automatically and forecast performance and things like that. And we'll do it more accurately than we are doing it all currently. And then on the sort of the creator, side, I think AI is going to, allow sort of some of the smaller creators will be able to operate sort of like the big guys or like big media businesses, so they can test offers and they can generate content and optimize performance without sort of needing a big team to support them. So I think it's just going to streamline probably the business for them. So I don't think it's going to replace. I don't think AI is going to replace affiliate marketing. I just think it's probably going to change the game a little bit. Maybe it's going to be less reliant on relationships and more about sort of data and intelligence powered, growth.
Yeah.
So what that all looks like, sort of TBD. But I'm both excited and and also tempering that excitement to see, how it shifts what we do and how we work currently, what a team looks like.
Yeah, you're always trying to make sense of it and like educate yourself and your team and the community and clients and all of the above. But there is a real factor of like fear and concern that I think we all sort of deal with, as our human brains can handle only so much, to be candid.
Right.
And where we are wired for certain things, and I think that as simple as that sounds, or as obvious that sounds, it's easy to be like, okay, this is not necessarily great feeling to be like, this huge thing is coming that's going to disrupt. I do believe that your answer is actually really enlightening, one of the better ones I've heard, in particular around affiliate, in that, from the lens of each stakeholder in the ecosystem, it changes a little differently. And I think that the notion of probably democratizing some of these world-class, high-end tools, for lack of a better term, I think is really fascinating from a data and like, is this actually working for me perspective? Because I think then you can sort of cut through a lot of the misnomers and hand waving and all that stuff. It's funny because we literally, not to like make some kind of big reveal or bogart the conversation, but we've got off some conversations around just helping MMM become more lean and agile and available. And so I think there's some ways we feel we can do that to help support the industry a little bit and get closer.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some good practitioners out there that are already working hard to solve that. So I think that's super exciting part of this, to say like, this is actually working. This is actually not,
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't think it's happening enough as it should.
No, I'd love to talk more about it and hear more. I think it's about getting in the room with the right people and having those conversations. Cause right now it's sort of like a hurry up and wait,
Yeah.
it's like you just want as much knowledge as you can to figure out how to get on board. And I do think those organizations and those brands and whatnot that affiliates sort of adopt early are going to be the ones that see the most success,
Yeah.
but do it thoughtfully. I think one thing that I mentioned, like what may change, is that affiliate has always been very like relationship based, and it's one thing I really love about the channel, and I think many people do, because people stay in it for years, and it's and move around sort of within the industry, maybe in different capacities. So I hope that doesn't change, but I think there will be a shift and maybe a little less reliant on the sort of that relationship side of things. So I
Yeah.
guess TBD, but
No, for sure. I couldn't agree more. It's such a big part of what I think draws people in and keeps them involved in it, and what
yeah.
I think I enjoy about it as well. And
Yeah.
it certainly has the scientific and the measurement and the performance aspect,
Yeah.
and there's some automation and tech, but wouldn't be surprised if more of that's coming for it. Yeah, my hope is that there's definitely some like negotiation, creativity, thoughtfulness, human aspects of it that stay and remain. My hope is that they will.
Me too. Me
Um,
too.
with the whole testing theme of the show, and you talked a little bit about experimentation. Is there a few A/B tests or holdout tests or marketing learnings or campaigns that really jump out at you in your career that you want to share?
Um, yeah, I guess I've kind of touched on a couple of them already. So like I would say number one would probably be that liquidation of the excess inventory
Yeah.
at Columbia through affiliate, instead of through the wholesale channel. And, that was huge. I think, another huge success point I mentioned was working with that sort of the smaller influencers, the micro influencers, and working with them through, sort of smart, skilled influencer networks. And so I think that's super, super important. And that has been really, really valuable for us in sort of building brand and converting and driving that new customer acquisition. Again, I guess on the topic of new customers and that being super important, via the affiliate channel for Woot is, we placed a new customer pixel. So we're finally kind of getting a chance to, commission differently on new customers. We've been held up on the tech side a lot, and a lot of has to go through our big parent company, Amazon, through a lot of
Yeah.
legal. So, I think we've finally been able to do some new customer work through commissioning and sort of playing around with that and seeing if that really moves the needle. So that's something that actually just kicked off in Q4. And so we're studying that and testing it and, seeing how we can move the needle there. So that's probably another one I would mention.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there a software that you're loving that you want to share with the audience?
Oh, I would say, yeah, just the personal AI. I think, working with AI has been really, really interesting. I have a long way to go in it personally to figure out how to best utilize it all. But I think, it's been really helpful. Amazon has integrated it into sort of a lot of our back end work. It's sort of a lot of our reporting dashboards and things like that. We can tap into AI to use that. I think, as you know, Amazon is notorious for writing docs every day, all day. And that has certainly helped in sort of the larger, big picture sort of strategic thinking, but also helping in sort of to, fine tune out those strategies and just help you kind of think about things maybe you wouldn't have. And just also moving things more quickly. So they are huge on adopt it, and then use it, and then how are you using it? And so that's
Yeah,
that's something probably I would say.
that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
What's a random fact that some people don't know about you?
When I've been asked that in the past, I usually say it's my name. So most people, even people that have known me for many years, don't know that my real name is not Ziggy. Um, Ziggy is my nickname. So Zigane is my real name, and
Amazing.
I've gone by Ziggy since day one. And so Zigane, but the Zigane is like, it's got a silent T in the front. So it's spelled Tzigane. And it's super complicated. So it's like, if you take the T out of it, that's, it's spelled like it sounds. But otherwise, I mean, I grew up just like raising my hand when like the teacher would go do roll call on the first day. They would get down to, when I knew it was me, and I would just be like, here. So, and it means gypsy rose, or it was gypsy rose, or like one who wanders. And what's hilarious is, I found that definition in a book of roses that I got from my mom. There was a rose called Zigane, and it was a gypsy rose. And so
I love that.
there you go. That's
Very
my
cool.
story. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thanks, Mom and
Nailed
Dad.
it. Yeah, no, we both have unique names, but I think you take the cake on that one. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Ziggy is just a great variant of that. It just has a great ring to it too. I love that name. What go-to book recommendations?
Yeah. So I have a couple. I'm in a book club, so I'm reading quite a bit. But I would say right now I'm reading a book called The Women by Kristen Hanna. I love that book. I'm at least halfway through it, if not maybe 3/4. But yeah, it's a fantastic book. It's about it's in the 1960s during the Vietnam War, and it's about these women that go and become nurses overseas in Vietnam, and sort of the experience. It just paints an incredibly intense but amazing picture. I just got done reading a book called Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. That's a really, really good, beautiful book. If you like audiobooks, I'd recommend listening to it. And then I guess in terms of like nonfiction, I've read, there's one, I'm trying to think what it's called right now, but the one that popped into my head, I guess, first is the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And I think that's been, it's been a good, it's been good for me. And I think that's like, it was educational in a lot of ways for like how I think about things and how I should be thinking about things. And so,
Yeah.
And it applies to work and personal life and all of that. So that's kind of what I would recommend.
My wife loves that last one with Mel Robbins, and I've enjoyed a lot of the videos and principles of that.
Yeah.
It's a good framework, and just it helps you focus on what you can control, which is I think always smart and great,
especially in today's world, right?
Yeah, absolutely. With that, we can go off and conquer what we can control and not worry about the rest. Ziggy, it's just awesome to catch up with you and get to share a ton of learnings and get into it with you and share those with other people. Hear about the Zoot story and all your great experiences at CJ and Columbia, and always enjoy talking to you as ever. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thanks. You as well, Tye. I appreciate it.
Yeah. If folks want to connect with you, what's the best way to track you down?
Yeah, probably LinkedIn. Yeah, check out Ziggy Kopetti on LinkedIn. Shoot me a message.
Kind. Can't find any others, so.
Yeah, there's not a lot to look through.
Easy find. It's not John Smith, so we're good.
Yeah, right. We'd love to hear from you.
Beautiful. It's so great to talk to you, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.